Your motion to accept the meeting minutes from September 19th of 2022.
So moved.
Second by Helen. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? On to the mental health programs and anything new that we might have with that.
Yeah, sure. So, sorry, I'm just moving Nicole and Jennifer over so that they'll be able to hear and see us. You won't be able to see them, but they're on the call. So let me just pull that up real quick. So we did look at one product, and I don't know if you had time to look at it at all, Jay, but there's a oh, here's Laura right here.
I'm so sorry. Oh, we just started. Thank you.
There's a program from a company called Stop It Solutions, in which they have something called Help Me. So one of the features is that it allows people to text and get help from crisis text lines free and 24/7 for high quality anonymous text-based mental health support and crisis intervention volunteers. So something like that type of platform, right? It's not we don't have an in-house clinician or have to come up with infrastructure. It's about $15,000 annually with a $3,500 intro. So call it $20,000 year one, and then, you know, the subsequent years is another 15,000. So that was the only thing we had really come across that looked like something that would be doable, and this is my opinion, obviously. Because we don't need any infrastructure, we don't have any you know, any real ability to do that, at least on my side of the house.
How about that idea that we had about, you know, getting a little more police time with the person that they have that drives around? Are we still considering that or not?
Yeah, so you're talking about the police social worker that we have.
Yes, yes.
So the issue with that, when I looked into it a little bit, is that that's a grant program that we have through advocates, and we're sharing that with 3 other communities. So there's not a lot of time to play with there. We would have to probably look for a successor agreement with advocates to provide us with a social worker that would be, you know, on site 1 day a week or something like that.
Sorry, I missed the beginning. What was the name of the? Is it like a name?
Stop It Solutions is what it's called.
So when they call in, can they speak to the same counselor if they need to call again?
That I don't know. Didn't get that far down.
I think a lot of,
It's continuity of care.
Yeah, that I don't know. So I have to full disclose. I recommended Stop It. They are my client, so I would recuse myself if we were voting on it, although I don't profit from them whatsoever. But I just happen to know about them, so I've done a lot of work for them. And so I could get questions answered pretty quickly about it. But they have a lot, but this is a program that I think, in the absence of having a person.
so I like the idea.
But I don't know.
know
That's
that
a
the
good question.
continuity
Let me
is
see if I
big.
bet I can get an answer while we're at this meeting.
Where are
Right.
they?
That's the answer. They're out of New Jersey.
Oh, okay, so
They
this is-
actually have an anonymous reporting system that's been all over the news. If you heard about the Fitchburg school, somebody got frauded. There was like an attack that they were founded after Sandy Hook by a Sandy Hook person to try to stop attacks before they happened. And then they kind of branched out into the mental health. So recently in the Fitchburg schools uses them, and kids can anonymously text. This is what we would use, but anonymously text if they see something, say something, but they don't have to put them, and then people get the text, but then this is like an add-on service. So
Do
I bet
they
they
just,
get
Just out of curiosity, I mean, do they carry their own liability insurance? Does it open up the town at all to any liability or no?
No,
No, we
If
wouldn't
they,
have any
if they
liability.
give
on
somebody,
a
they
product
give
like that.
somebody some bad advice and that person goes haywire. There's no liability for us?
No, no, I mean, we could certainly drill down on that, but they're gonna have their own liability program, but then also, you know, we have the Mass Tort Claims Act that as long as we're acting in good faith, the
Okay.
town doesn't suffer any increased liability.
so if you Google crisis text crisis solutions, they're pretty well known. It's like it's a legit company that has mental health workers.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. Do
Crisis
we,
text line.
how
So
about,
that's,
yeah, how about getting the word out there? I mean, is this gonna be just advertised through the schools or are we gonna do something for advertising the service or what are your thoughts there? Nobody knows about it, nobody's gonna use it.
I think it's not just school. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely doing this, this is supposed to be townwide, right?
yeah,
Right, yeah, so I mean, we would do, you know, our normal kind of media blitz, right? I can send everybody a text message and an email that's signed up for our program, which is about 5,000-ish people. You know, you could send something through the schools. We have other listserv type things for other town departments that hit people that maybe aren't served on those other tech services, and then, you know, our normal Facebook website, that kind of thing. We could probably get some press
Awesome.
about it too.
You
Awesome.
might even have a little market, of some sort.
that would be me.
Oh, you are?
So I do the PR and marketing for them. So it's a little weird, but
So do you think you could get the word out?
so I'm guessing I could help get the word out pretty quickly
Okay,
in a big way. I just did it for anyone. Not to toot my own horn, but I do think it's a good, and I haven't put you in touch with a salesperson because I didn't want to do that to you.
Mhm.
But I absolutely can connect you with somebody who's a little more knowledgeable. I didn't want to add that to you,
well, and I
like
appreciate
the
that.
sales.
But I think, yeah, I mean, I think it's intriguing, right? It's a
No,
way for
definitely
us to
intriguing, yeah. I mean, I guess-
provide a service that, again, doesn't rely on our infrastructure because,
Right.
you know, like we've talked about before, like I'm a town administrator. I don't know how to oversee a social worker and
Well, I think that's
Any
also,
problems that
it's
may arise
also,
from
you're gonna find one person is not gonna be able to service an entire
Right.
town.
yep,
And that's the crisis right now.
Yeah.
So this isn't ideal, but then, I mean, and it does, and they do have a municipal section too. I mean, there's a whole lot more, but this is like, I don't know, I've talked to a lot of people who've used it,
okay.
but if you look at their,
And like, and use it outside of the school.
yeah, towns, hospitals. Yeah, because they built off of that anonymous reporting system, which is,
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if it's just them like talking, do they open a file? Just so, a lot of people
Yeah.
don't want
So-
to retell their story.
If,
yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
if the group is interested in the idea, right, this
Yeah,
general
yes,
idea.
yes.
Then personally, I think the next step is we get in touch with their salespeople and we set up a meeting. We'll do it all remote, so, you know, they can just share their screen and everything. And they can walk us through the tech and then we can ask whatever questions we have and also understand a little bit
Yeah.
more in depth. I mean, I went on their website and I clicked around, but, you know, I haven't seen it in action, so to speak, and I'm sure that they have some kind of sales pitch that they go through where they give us a little more of that. upfront stuff.
Yeah, for that.
And the nice thing is it still leaves us with some money too. It's not,
Yeah.
you know, it's not taking on a person. I think it could be funded. It also, well, I was just gonna say, yeah, it can be funded by ARPA funds. It can be grant funded, but we know that,
Well, we can start with that and then, you know, it's not an insurmountable cost where.
right?
We couldn't figure, if it was playing a valid role in the community that between Jay and I, we couldn't figure out how to fund that. Moving forward. I mean, we're not looking for more expenses all the time, but
Right.
if it's doing good for the community. Something that we would stick with, but we could,
Could you
Fun
kindly
first.
give me the name again? Because I didn't catch it the first time. The name of the outfit,
Opit Solutions.
can you
yeah,
spell that?
like stop.
Oh,
STO.
Stop It Solutions. I got it. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah, so. I didn't do their website, but,
Oh, I was gonna talk to you about that.
It doesn't really have much about like, it's a lot of resources like for K through 12.
Yeah,
on this, but I'm sure we did.
That's why I'm thinking,
Yeah.
maybe we tell them what we're looking for, and then they can give us
yeah.
their presentation based on that.
Right.
And I already mentioned it, I think they could, I know they kind of moved a little bit away from the municipalities just because the schools were more profitable for them, but. I think we could work something out, well, I don't know, what am I saying?
Mhm.
And again, I'm not profiting whatsoever,
Right, right. You can recuse yourself.
I will recuse myself, but I will get nothing from it.
Absolutely.
So we'll set up a.
I think it's worth following up on.
I agree, yeah.
All right, so I will take care of that, I'll put you guys in touch and then we can
Sure.
go from there.
Sure.
Okay,
We'll just, everybody agree, we'll just do that remotely.
Yeah.
And do a presentation, okay.
perfect.
Yeah, I'd be curious, because I know a lot of, I think it's definitely gonna get the word out, right? Because I know a lot of insurance companies, they have this,
Mhm.
you can call, any employee can call, but I don't know many people who want it. Personally, I don't know many people who use it, so I'd be curious to see what the difference is.
Mhm. It would be great if you could say, I'm in crisis, and also my car insurance lapsed and I can.
So I'd be curious, like, how they differentiate themselves from a
Yeah.
service like that.
Yep, yeah, I agree. Somebody fall off the roof.
Room two, no, second.
Okay,
We were on our one.
okay, great.
Paul had to come rescue us, did he tell you before I got here?
I did not.
Showed up at our house at 11 o'clock.
I just see you want to see your front door is me.
No, and he's like, I'm like in my pajamas, like, Laura. All right,
I got a good story about that too, but not while we're recording.
oh, okay.
All right, so we had a couple, do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I don't mind, yeah,
Okay.
thank you, if you don't mind.
Do you have the agenda up, or do you want
I
to
do.
just
Yeah.
move on to, it's just kind of generic, right? Talk
Yeah,
about it.
well, so we had a couple things from Anne Marie.
Yep.
So we had so I did want to talk about the new things that are coming in. And maybe we need to make a decision that maybe we're not accepting new ideas anymore because we already went through the survey and
Right.
I know people reach out to you because that's your job in town. So thanks for forwarding it, but I just wanted to know what people, like, at this point, I feel like,
I agree.
I think we kind of have our charge. But I'm sorry, did you want to talk about?
No, are you talking about the Blackstone Heritage?
Yeah.
Yeah, so. I haven't even fully read through it, I'm done my homework periods. So, I know Donna Williams, has known her for a long time, and so I know she's been involved for a long
Yeah.
time in the watershed and the Blackstone corridor. So this is something that she reached out to me to see if she could bring before this group. And so I just had her send the draft proposal, and so they've obviously gotten money from other communities that are involved in this. And I did tell her, she had all volunteered to come, and I just told her maybe hop on Zoom in case anyone had questions. So it's, I don't know much more than that per se. I thought that the ask seemed a little bit, a lot, especially this late in the game, and that maybe if we were even to consider it, maybe we back it down a little bit. I mean, I know the one thing that I noticed and I've always been interested in is the bike path that we've talked about for, I don't know how long. We're at 20, Millbury got their section, and you can go from Uxbridge all the way down to Providence, and we didn't get our little section. So I see that that's kind of one of the things that's in their information, but short of that, I can't really speak. I think, I understand what they do, and it's a great organization. So.
So would this
Two cents
connect
on it.
to the Millbury Rail Trail?
Well, years and years ago, that was the deal. And I think there's still plans somewhere, right? It was
Yeah.
going through Main Street and even maybe through Follette, like the.
Yeah, I didn't.
Pretty much
follow
goes
that
along the
close.
Blackstone River, right? That was the plan. There was a plan somewhere.
Yep.
But no, that was just a little thing that piqued my interest. If that's something that is in their paperwork here.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, the thing with the bike path is there's so many easements and takings that it's hard to get all that, because it's all private property, so it's hard to get all that.
Well, aren't they usually near like old train tracks?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
but-
should have done that.
yeah, well, we missed the boat on
We
that.
gave that away.
But
Usually that's what
Not that it's a sore subject.
Providence and Worcester tracks on obvious, which parallel the Blackstone are active, so they're not.
At the time, we had a chance to take that, and we didn't. the town, so now we have the railroad that runs it.
Anyway.
There's like, okay. Yeah,
Like that.
but nobody here had made those decisions.
So I just, you know, I said, I know Donna, and so I felt like I could bring it before the committee, given that there was still some things out there.
Well, what do we have left?
Well, we have did we talk about the exercise?
We have.
No,
So, which I do feel, I mean, I guess we could tie in with anything into mental health too. So I guess my thought is. Our last kind of piece of the puzzle from the survey was really looking at some sort of like how to help with mental health. And I think you can look at that in a wide array of
Sure.
things. Like to me, exercise really does, help, you know,
Yep.
different things. So, I mean, we could, certainly a bike path would be amazing and wonderful. So,
But I don't know that we have the funds.
well, and I think again, just to back it up, that they're doing a big fundraising effort to help them then with, you know, some of their issues. So we're not gonna get a bike path out of giving them $60,000 either way. But it's just to kind of, they're doing this
Yeah.
big fundraising campaign for the corridor, you know, the organization is what this is about.
So,
Community campaign.
yeah, like a capital campaign,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
raising. I think that, at least from my perspective, the exercise equipment or anything park exercise related still ties back to our original plan of people were interested in park upgrades, they were interested in mental health things, and you know, exercise and mental health is pretty parallel. That's just my general approach on that.
Mhm.
But I think anything park related.
yeah, I agree. I mean, the grant, it didn't sit well with me just for ARPA. I think it's like a great idea, but I didn't really felt like, I don't know, it felt. And maybe I know she probably just used the same proposal for every committee, but I was like, we're not kind of like somebody who's entertaining grants from people all over like the community, or like, we're not a grant organization.
Right.
And we had a plan and we've been going down through it. So I almost just felt like, okay, this is awesome to know, and maybe we can figure out another way to help, but
Just a little bit late, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
did like the ideas, but.
And I think part of, you know, Northbridge used ARPA, so that's probably
oh,
how
sure.
this came through, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that's just fine. I mean, I guess I can.
I initially just felt that either way, I wasn't comfortable coming in that high. If we
Yeah.
determined that it was something that we wanted. But given that we still have kind of outstanding things too. I mean, the exercise equipment, I didn't really do my homework. I sent you guys something today. I did reach out to that company, and I can do. I'll try to do my due diligence in terms of looking into that, but I did.
Is this something that could go with the new park?
I think that was kind of maybe a thought, yeah. I mean, I had kind of thought like Nelson Park, but if there's something already going up there and plans, it could go up there too, but
Don't talk about parking, but.
yeah. Yeah,
But I think,
I mean, it
I
could
think
go
it could be
anywhere.
a little, but I think that would be good. It could be like.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. So there's that kind of stuff. You know, I think that's probably, in my opinion, at minimum $100,000.
see, that little thing I sent, it just said, of course, you know, then on the email, she said, oh, by the way, our rates on this went up, but that little gizmo was like 20,000 or thereabouts.
Right, but
Like that
you-
10-piece thing.
So, but generally, don't you have more than one station?
Well,
No,
we could do whatever we want, you know, like you could do
Like
it.
Hopkinton does it like, it's like spread out.
Right,
Yeah,
and so you gotta walk from station to
Yes,
station.
Mm.
So that's how I'm
it's the 10
picturing it, and that's why I'm
pieces,
saying
yeah.
100,000,
Well,
because
it's
it's
the
5
10
pieces.
No, it's the 10 pieces and they just spread it all out.
Okay,
Yeah,
So this is the 10 piece, looks like starting at 20,000. So
Yeah.
let's say it goes up
it's
a
gonna be
little bit.
more because she
Yeah.
already said that.
Yeah, so let's say 30,000.
And yes, I only emailed her today again, just.
Yeah, no, but
let's
this
say
is great.
50,000.
So
No,
say
well,
that-
I'm not
Yeah.
even
I
joking,
think it would
because
be adequate to
you got
start.
site plan, you got
Sure.
all that crap,
Yeah,
right? It's
Yeah.
all gonna go into it. So you have all that stuff.
yeah. I mean, we obviously, so this includes,
Ooh, push-up station.
Here's what I think is like,
includes a good amount.
and this is kind of how we did the skate park is. come for the number and we'll make it work. If it's
Right.
2 things, it's 2 more things than we have now. If it's 5 things, that's cool. It doesn't involve a lot of site prep. You can just plop this little, it's a pull-up bar. You can do it from,
Seriously.
and I know from a town perspective, it's probably more complicated than that, but I think if we got a number.
I work for the government. My job is to complicate things as much as possible.
Right. I
Um,
mean, I know this is only one company too,
Right.
but it,
No, I think, and I
It's
do-
ADA
and I do
compliant.
remember taking my kids to that park in Huntston, and there was always somebody using it.
Yeah,
yeah,
I got the idea just like whenever you're overseas in other countries, they always have it, always have it, like, yeah, instead of.
So let's just back up.
Mm.
So let's say we had,
We have 194, 258 left to spend.
right, so
Minus
if you
But
did,
that's based on costs we got 6 months ago, which I know everything is
right.
yeah,
20% higher than that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
so but we have, let's say you spent 50 on that, right? That includes site prep, you know, it's great that the machines are accessible, but if you can't get to them, then they're not accessible. So
Right.
like, I'm just thinking through, so if we spend 20 grand on that ish, and then you needed another
You need an
30. for-
accessible walkway.
Right, right, yep, and even if you did just an asphalt walkway to it, which is not as pretty. I'm not saying we're gonna do that, you're still talking,
Oh, yeah.
you know, 15, 20 grand,
Right.
even with us doing in-kind stuff. So let's say you called that 50 and you called the healthcare stuff or that stuff, let's say that was,
50,
what did I say on that? 30,
20 plus 30, yeah.
20 plus 30, so you're at 50, so now that would be 100,000 that we just pulled off the top, so we'd have 94,000.
Which I think would be good to have and
I had a suggestion, possibly.
to spend the money.
Yeah, it's already in our plan, but I thought it might be pretty good. Is I already, and if we say no to it, I'm still funding it in the capital plan, it just shifts things. Like my pitch there. I think that if we have any money left over, I'd like to see us take like 60,000 and buy a minivan for the senior center.
Yes.
It's been on their list for a long time. I haven't funded the capital plan, but I think that would be a great way to help improve people's access to the community. They're doing a lot more medical visits and driving the big van around is problematic. We did hit the awning at UMass Medical with our giant van. And you don't need a wheelchair van for every single thing that you do, but we could put a lot more trips out there in the community if we were to get that minivan. So I don't think anybody needs to decide instantly, but it's something that was already on our plan that I thought might be.
What's the cost
Can you send a-
I'm estimating around
Yeah,
60,
amounts? Thank you.
maybe less, but I'd also like us to get a hybrid.
What about a driver and insurance?
I'm trying to, what's that?
What about a driver, like that's already,
Yeah, that would be operational side and I'll handle all of that. So it's really just the one-time cost of buying the vehicle. So my current estimate was 57,000. Cause that's what minivans cost now. Is it? No, I do, yeah. Man, we had a great Astro van. Had 3.5 millimeter jacks in the back and I could control the radio from the back seat.
Oh,
God, those were the days.
is it like velour, brown velour inside?
It was actually, it was gray. And it was gray outside and gray interior,
Oh,
blue stripes on the seats.
sleek.
And it
Yeah, right.
cost $8,000.
It probably did, yeah. Yeah,
All right, so it sounds like, oh, I don't know what Mary just said, but like our next,
next, I was asking to see the.
oh,
where we're at.
I was gonna say, it sounds like kind of next steps are just, I mean, we need to probably get a little more information from Adventure Playground Systems and probably do our due diligence to see if there's other ones.
Yep.
I'll set up the meeting with Stop It. We'll find out more with that, and then maybe you can come back with some
stop it, makes me laugh.
funny name. And it's like all caps, which is super annoying,
It's except for it.
except for it.
Have we actually spent any money?
Yes, I can, next time we meet, what I'll do is I'll start a spreadsheet and, like I'll have what we've allocated for the project and then I'll have an expense of what we paid out. So like I can tell you right now, like we've paid 741,000 for some of the HVAC. We paid 50,000 for the food bank. I paid, I think it was almost 50,000 for, the website redesign, so I think there'll be some money closing back out to that. Yeah, that's all, not too much. to come in. I think, 3 weeks ago, I started paying invoices.
Or I have to go. So here we go.
Okay. Thanks for letting us know.
But it's sweating itself around.
All right, well, good luck. I hope everything's okay.
Oh, yeah, no, it's.
They're training. it doesn't matter.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Well, still good luck. And I still hope everything's okay. Okay,
Oh, and then you'll set up a meeting with staff.
I will.
You'll talk to, or who. For the equipment, is that something in the evening?
Do you-
Or you-
I can, what am I doing again?
Or this
The exercise equipment,
exercise equipment?
Yeah, I'll keep.
or do you want to send that and then we can see if there's anything on the state bid list? So state bid list means we don't have to go out for procurement, so we can just buy
That'd be
off the
easiest.
list. Better?
Sure.
Okay, we can do that in-house.
And then what? You'll just see what's out there and then we'll come back here and look at it. okay?
Yep,
Yeah,
and we'll
then we
do
can figure out
a,
what-
yeah, well, I should be able to share it ahead of time, like if it's, like the playground people is landscape designs or
Hmm.
playscape designs is they're on the bid list, so you can go onto the bid list and then download their brochure of things, so then I can share that out to the group.
Sure.
And I'll do the same thing with the minivan. Right? And, I'll get the bid list price and also check availability, because we're ordering trucks right now 18 months in advance. It's unbelievable.
And then as far as the location for the exercise, do you have to talk to rec and see if they will?
Yeah,
Open arms, have that equipment there.
no, so if we do it we're talking about, Washington Mill Park, right?
The new,
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not really a rec site.
oh, okay.
It's kind of a,
And also maybe like some of that infrastructure in terms of accessibility might
yep,
be easier.
absolutely. I think it very much will.
Cause I've been thinking about like Nelson Park, but
It's not
to get in there.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually a pretty big site, but like it's
You
big,
need-
you know, it's hard to, where, depends on where you put it, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Like,
space there.
Yeah, there's two, I think there's the fixed place where you make it fully accessible. It's hard to make it fully accessible when they're so far apart.
Right.
That's, I was telling Anne Marie, so we put these in a field I had. And there's 5 of them, and then everybody didn't want to do the walkway, so you can't get to any of them. They're just these little mulched exercise equipment pads.
There's no walkway.
There's no walkway. So, again, if you're elderly and the point is to get you walking and moving and you can stop and, use whatever piece of equipment is there. You can't even get to it. It's a real bummer.
Mhm.
So I like the kind of, I had never really seen one that was like a more of a fixed locale.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. It's almost like a little gym and
Yeah.
it encourages
Yeah.
people to kind of do it together.
It'd be like
as well,
Muscle
you know?
Beach and Grafton.
Exactly. I love it. I think
Exactly.
It's.
I think it's
such a
pretty
great
cool.
thing. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anything else? I feel like we have a plan, a path to,
I'm excited about the stop it thing.
good, oh, I'm so glad.
I really, am. I think it's
I
pretty cool.
felt, I should have brought it up earlier, but I felt super weird about it.
I hope- I
Yeah.
hope that would- I hope it's, I hope it could work.
I hope it can
I
too.
really think it's great. Like, kind of like the best of both worlds.
So we'll see. But they're great. I will say they're amazing people to work with and just super caring. All right, so then I guess we have another meeting set up.
Well, why don't we hold off
You wanna
until we
hold
get
off?
from stop it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
perfect.
in
Oh, okay.
my opinion, if we could set up the stop it thing and then piggyback on that and just continue our meeting. that would be
Great. Well, I'll should know, I'll get in touch with Kevin.
tonight. I'm waiting the whole time.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy. It makes me so happy. Evan. All right, cool. Well, I have a meeting with them tomorrow at 10, so. All right, then, I guess we will, anything else? I'll take a motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks, everybody.